Hey everyone, welcome back to Tajiri's Ball Reviews. Today we are very excited to take a look at a brand new Storm bowling ball called the Storm EquinoX. I was a little skeptical when I first saw this picture, but seeing this in person, as far as looks, it looks a lot better than it does in the pictures. It kind of gives me like Paradigm vibes, original Paradigm. So I actually really like the colors. So let's take a look at what this ball is. I got my specs right up here. RG 2.48, diff 0.054, in diff 0.018. Looks like a brand new core. It's a Solarion AI core. It's got power edge finish, and the cover stock is A1S Pearl Reactive. And it says here, A1S Pearl Reactive cover stock introduces Storm's first generation adhesive system engineered for exceptional performance with a rapid oil absorption rate that boosts tackiness even when polished. So let's check that. Here, a little bit of ASMR here. I got a mic. Let's see. I definitely would say that it's got some tackiness. Then it says, the power edge finish will provide length and back end, ideal for bowlers who are looking for extended skid and intensified angles. Basically, from what I'm seeing from the design intent, is that this ball is supposed to be the good old Storm staple long and strong back end. And you can see the throwback. It's got the original Storm streamline symbol on it. So now let's get to laying it out. So I'm drilling this two-handed. I'm going to go with my staple layout as I do on all my two-handed stuff. I'm going to put my standard layout that I do on my two-handed balls, just so when I'm testing these balls out and I'm comparing it to others, that I'll have a really good feedback. So I'm going to go with a 5x4x4. I'm going to lay the ball out, and we're going to talk why I laid the ball out the way I did. So I got my Storm EquinoX laid out here. I got a 5-inch pin, a 5-inch PSA to PAP, and a 4-inch pin to COG. Let's go put some holes on it and see what it does on the lanes. See you out there. Guys, 15% of you are not subscribed. Just hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of these ball reviews and these bowling tips that I'm going to be giving you in the future. I'm also doing videos with D-Ron Booker. We're going to wish him great luck on the 2025 PBA Tour season. We're going to be doing some videos throughout the year and putting some great collabs together also with other content creators. So be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything. And by the way, the scent on this ball, I'm filming this and I just keep smelling it. The blueberry crumble, it's so strong, but it smells so good. All right, we're on the lanes now. Got the Equinox drilled up. Let's see what this thing does. That was a lot stronger than I expected. I didn't think it was gonna hook that much. I normally on this house shot typically start around, sliding around like a little bit left of 30 and trying to get it around, 18 to 20 to start, because it is a little bit of a drier house shot. And this ball really picked up, so I'm gonna move a little bit more left. I moved a little bit more left with my feet, got the ball to 20 at the arrows, and so what that tells me is that this ball is pretty strong for a Pearl ASIM. I didn't think it was going to be this strong. I was looking at the core and the cover. I mean, it looked like a strong ASIM, but I thought the cover was going to be a little bit cleaner. I just got to get used to it. I'm going to keep throwing some shots and seeing what this does. I see this ball being very smooth and not really too angular. It does transition really quick at the break point,
So that kind of tells me that the core is really large. So what that tells me is it feels like the core just revs up really quick and spins up fast. And I do notice that the oil absorption rate on this ball is pretty quick, because normally, since I'm bowling two hands, I can feel the oil on my ball, and it absorbed it already. So I think it's got a fast absorption rate. I spun that one a little bit, got a little bit more around it, but it made the corner, so that's a good thing. So it gives me more miss room off my hand, which is a good thing, because in bowling, you just want to create area. No one's perfect. No one's gonna throw like 20 shots at the exact same. Yeah, we may throw it close, but in bowling, what are we trying to do? We're trying to strike. So this ball gives me some room. Also, let's take a look at the flare separation here. This is a 5-inch pin for me, and it looks like this ball has a wider flare separation than another ball that I would have drawn like a Ion Max per se with a 5-inch pin. It looks like this ball wants to flare a little bit more. It's like kind of giving me DNA coil vibes, but a little bit stronger. I did bring other balls with me today to compare, so stay tuned for that. This does have AI core inside of it. That's proof right there. That should have been a split. This ball does seem to be a little bit more on the forward side, not really so clean and so angular. So if you're looking for a big pro ASIM, that's not like a Vibo. I know the Vibo just got discontinued, and that ball was a little bit cleaner, a little bit sharper off the break point. This ball is not that. It is quick to respond as far as getting into its final roll phase, like that transition from skid hook to roll. That is quick, but as far as overall ball motion from what I visually see with my eyes, it's not a quick, sharp move down lane. It's a quick move, like in the mid lane, if we're looking at the lane front to back. It's quick here, but it's not long and quick on the back end. What it looks like for me is that the ball is getting into the roll phase a little bit sooner, and that essentially will make my pocket a little bit wider, because the ball is rolling as it's going through the pins and not necessarily trying to hook. Well, that's just what Mark Baker says, or that's what he tells me. He's like trying to get your ball to roll into the 1-3, not hook into the 1-3, because that gives you the maximum miss room or highest strike percentage. Don't quote me on that. Ask Mark. Right now, what I'm seeing is this ball's being a little bit more speed sensitive. If I throw it a little fast, it kind of just goes through the break point and goes ring 10 like that. I'm gonna have to watch my speed and make sure I give this ball some time to hook properly in the oil. You can see the ball motion. It's not like your ASIM ball that's really gonna read quick off of the break point and just go trucking all the way left. This is reading and it's going a little bit more forward. So you're gonna get a lot of control out of this and a lot of hook front to back. So it's a strong ball, but it's a strong pearl ball, but it's a strong pearl ball with control. So you're able to control the motion and control the shape, so it's not so erratic. Oh, I dropped it. Oopsie. Oopsie. This ball's design intent was for your everyday league shot, 39 feet to 44 feet. And that's pretty much the standard across the nation of, most people's house shots in terms of footage. They're either between 39 to 44 feet. So this ball was designed for that. And I am bowling on a 43-foot typical house shot here that we put out at Bel Mateo Bowl. And it's 25 mils if you're wondering. But our lane surface is pretty beat up, so there's a lot of friction.
I'm so
All right, let's get into the comparisons. I got an Origin here. Let's see what this does compared to the Equinox. What I see out of the Origin compared to the Equinox, the Origin is just like a tad bit weaker. Being that the Origin is a hybrid and it's not a pearl like the Equinox, you're gonna see a little bit of a different shape. The Origin, I don't think it was as quick off to the break point as far as responsiveness from its hook to roll phase as the Equinox. The Equinox definitely felt like it spun up a little bit faster, but off of the break point, I think the Origin was a little bit more continuous and had a bit more motion down lane visually, and the Equinox was just a little bit more forward. I would say the Origin Equinox, they are pretty similar. So if you're looking for a replacement for your Origin, even though that ball is not really that old, you could pick up an Equinox. Or if you were thinking about getting an Origin and just wanted something newer, the Equinox would be a great fit for you. Now I have a Physix Blackout. I do have power edge on it, so it is shiny. So let's see the difference here between a shiny Physix Blackout and the Equinox. Immediately off that first shot, what I felt was that ball just felt a lot cleaner. It was a lot easier for me to get the ball to the break point off of my hand. I didn't really have to push or shove it there like the Origin or the Equinox. And that just tells me that the other two balls, those cover stocks are just much stronger than the Physix Blackout. So the Physix Blackout, it's in that same category of the Equinox. So if you have a Physix Blackout, I don't think you really need an Equinox. But if you're looking to really diversify your bag and fine tune and find that small missing piece, and you're switching out balls from tournament to tournament, that's when the Equinox will fit in, because the Physix Blackout and the Equinox are both ASIM pearls. But the Physix Blackout out of box, it does come a little bit duller. But if you put polish on it, they are pretty close together. But the small minute differences between the Physix Blackout and the Equinox, like I just said earlier, is that the Physix Blackout is a little bit cleaner and easier to get to the break point, and it's not as forward off of the break point as the Equinox. So I get this question all the time in the pro shop is, okay, so I want a pearl ball. And I go, okay, well, what kind of pearl ball? Do you want an ASIM pearl ball or a symmetrical pearl ball? So I got a Zen 25 here. I know it's not an ASIM pearl, but it is a pearl ball, and it's got a big core. So we're going to compare the Zen 25 to the Equinox so we can see the difference between an asymmetrical pearl and a symmetrical pearl, so it's easier for you to decide at home whether or not this ball is better for you or the Equinox is better for you. So let's go throw some shots. What I see out of the Zen 25 compared to the Equinox, as far as hook potential between both of the balls, they are pretty similar, but off the end of the pattern it's a little bit different. Because that ball is symmetrical, the hook window is a lot longer, because a symmetrical ball always wants to hook. It just wants to be always hooking, nice, round, and continuous. With an asymmetrical ball, it wants to hook as soon as possible because of the asymmetry, and once it's done hooking, that's it. It's just rolling after that. So that's why with an ASIM ball you see a little bit more of like a jerk, and a symmetrical ball, it's nice and round and continuous. Visually, sometimes it looks like a symmetrical ball is hooking more, and that's just because it's always wanting to hook. It's got a nice, round, long hook window. Now I've got an Ion Max with me. This also has power edge on it, just so you can see how the Equinox would compare to something that's a solid. So you can see the Ion Max, it is a little bit more forward than the Equinox, and it's a little bit slower. And what I mean by slower is that this ball is not going to be really clean to the break point. It wants to pick up a little bit earlier, and it wants to go a little bit more forward. An Ion Max is great for when you're bowling on fresh and you want to just control those back ends, and you got a big puddle in the middle, and you want to know if the ball is going to hook. And the Ion Max is that ball. You can throw it in the puddle. It reads in that puddle every time. So I'd say the EquinoX is a super small step down from an Ion Max, but it is a good option if you're trying to look for a solid ASIM and a Pro ASIM as a 1-2 combo, and that kind of interchanges. So like you go like Ion Max or Physix Blackout, or Ion Max or EquinoX, or Ion Max and Origin, kind of like that. That's how I would fit that in your bag. Speaking of in the bag, let's talk about where the EquinoX fits in my 6-ball arsenal. So at the top, since I've been talking about the Ion Max and I threw it, let's go with the Ion Max on the top. Right below that, I got my Equinox. Step below that, I currently have the Zen 25, and I have that as a good 1-2 option. Just because the Zen 25, I can add surface if needed. So I'm using it currently as like a pro ball that's round and smooth. But if I add some surface, I can kind of like, you know, make that ball a little bit stronger in case I counter a little bit more oil. Step below that, I got my Optimum Idle Solid. Unfortunately, it just got recently discontinued, which is so sad. But I got that ball with a little bit of lane shine on it. I like that ball because it's pretty clean through the front. It's not super aggressive, and it has a nice round continuous motion down lane. So I've been bowling on a lot of house shots. So I've been using that ball to control that bounce right, that lot of friction to the right. The Optimum Idle's been a great ball for that. Step below that, we got the trusty old IQ Tour. That's the GOAT. There's a lot of GOATs in storm bowling balls. But the IQ Tour is always a staple. That allows me to be a little bit more right, a little bit more square to my break point, a little bit straighter than the Optimum Idle Solid. And then we have the very last ball, which has been my level. I'm using it for spares. Also, like because I bowl second shift in league, and there's times where it's just completely burnt up. The level's a great ball because it allows me to be a little bit more right as a two-hander, and I can be a little bit more straight than the IQ Tour to the break point. So if I'm just like, oh, I'm in a pinch, I'm like, oh man, the lanes are being a little funky right now. There's a big cliff, and I want to just control the lanes a little bit more, and ensure that I'm just going to play that dry to the right, but all my other stuff's just overhooking. The level's a great ball for that. So that's my 6-ball arsenal, and that's where the Equinox fits. It is in that upper tier category of hook potential bowling balls at the top. And guys, thank you for watching. If you have made it this far in this video, let me know. Let me know if you made it this far. Comment Equinox in the comments section below. This really looks like a paradigm, like with the lighting and everything right now. Colors, it's like a updated paradigm. See you guys in the next video.
Yeah, same shit, different day. If I'm getting paid, then you know I'm on the way. Pushing PCH, crib feeling like a cage. TVs in the whip and they playing Cell Train. Yeah. Gold chain hanging from my chest. Rockin' Bell bottles, baby boy, I'm the best. Platform shoes got me feeling top deck. On the yacht, I'm a hot girl, show me some respect. Yeah, I'm a dawn and they know it. I'm giving you a shot, show up, don't blow it. If I'm in my zone, don't stop me flowing. Gotta give me a moment, I'm a star, let me show it.